one of them.
Yeah, so streaming data is actually all handled by Theta. So Theta, that's why we partnered with them and we're so close with them. So Theta is kind of our streaming platform. So all our content that we ingest in our platform and transcode into the appropriate renditions, everything is done by Theta and is hosted on the peer-to-peer edge network that Theta offers. Where our blockchain piece comes in is the wrapper technology, specifically this part right here, the right here, like this part right here. This is our replace core wrapper. All we do is we wrap all digital streams that are coming out of Theta with our tracker. It's literally a simple tracker, and all it is it calculates, how much a user has actually consumed and who they are, who the consumer is, who the content distributor is, and who the content owner is. And we know each of their kind of wallets, I guess you can say, and we effectively distribute the currency in real time.
But the key point to highlight there, and Krish, sorry for interrupting. Apologies for that. But the key thing there is, and this is the core piece of Replay that got us excited, and I think got Kedric excited too, was if you can track a piece of content accurately and then ultimately create an entire ecosystem built on usage based consumption of content. Like if you think about it in the OTT ecosystem at large, you have tons of ad supported services, and then you have tons of subscription services, and people are already talking about, I've got too many of these things to figure out. How do you introduce a usage based model, right? Like people get really, really frustrated and they turn subscriptions on and off and they share passwords, and there's all these kind of crazy problems on the consumer side. And on the content creator side, you have this whole different set of problems, which is, do I want to put my stuff exclusively in one place for many, many years for some upfront payment, which I don't really understand well enough? Or do I want to put it everywhere on a rev share basis and hope I'm being paid fairly? So we view the protocol as the intersection of those two things, of the kind of content creators' frustration in how to manage their business, and the consumer frustration of like, do I want ads or do I want subscriptions? There must be some better middle road, right? That's where those things meet. But what's really great is if you can track that usage appropriately, then you can kind of birth all these really innovative models. And I think we have kind of our next slide on it, but really, the goal again, is to go to market with a general market streaming service that showcases great content and is on par with many things you see out there. But the difference is you have incentives for the consumer as well as the creator and the distributor that are tied to the usage of these pieces of content. And at the beginning, like we're talking simple stuff, like we talked about NFTs earlier in our conversation here. There's opportunities, as Krish alluded to create like authentication, right? So access to content. NFTs might be able to do things like turn off ads or never have to watch an ad, right, in their life if they're a holder of an NFT on this platform. You can do all sorts of things. You can incentivize people to create playlists, for instance, and incentivize the curation of content in new and interesting ways. And the thing that I'm personally most excited about, outside of gating and some of maybe the very obvious NFT concepts we've all seen, are kind of this concept of SNFTs, right? So in our world, we think that if you can accurately and in a trustless way prove that a certain piece of content has been watched for a certain piece of time, an NFT holder might also be able to be compensated for the revenue that content holder has. So a studio might not have to sell its entire catalog or stock in its company, or an individual filmmaker doesn't have to sell 75% of their movie. They could maybe sell a lifetime royalty share of that movie, and we could interact with those things in new and different ways. That's what we're really excited about here. We think there's, when we think of Replay, the content tracking and payment platform, we also think that we're basically building a content economy that has completely new and emerging use cases that we probably haven't.